Joining us now to potentially come up with a new idea for entrepreneurs out there is Carol Roth. She is the author of the New York Times bestseller, The Entrepreneur Equation. Thanks for being here on this Friday, Carol.
My pleasure, Shabani. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Lots of stuff going on here. And I was just talking about the lifeblood of small businesses and how they really do fuel job growth and economic growth in this country. But sometimes it's really hard to start to rev your company up when you feel so limited and so tied down to being a small company. You are proposing, and the focus of our discussion today in your book is coming up with successful partnerships to help you do more with having less. Explain what that means to our viewers.
Sure. Well, if you think about the small businesses, Shabani, there are only a few ways that you can grow revenue. You can give more products and services to your existing customers. You can find new customers for your existing products and services, or you can raise prices. And obviously, the last one's very tough to do in this economy. So how do you go about doing the other things? Well, a great way to do that is to find a partner. We used to think of other businesses as our competitors, but we're now in a situation where we can actually collaborate with other businesses and hopefully find a situation where 1 + 1 can equal 3, and where both businesses can benefit by cross-marketing their products, their services, and of course their customer bases.
Carol, sometimes the hardest thing to do is to know when to ask for help. I think that's something that applies to everyday life, our personal life, as well as our professional life. Sometimes you don't know that you need help and that perhaps somebody else out there could help you. At what point do you need to start reflecting and saying, my business may do better if I have a partner? How do we know? What are sort of the warning signs, if you will?
Yes, well, help, everyone thinks help is this 4-letter word, but it's actually a good 4-letter word. And I think that if you're struggling and overwhelmed in your business and perhaps aren't sure what the right step is, sometimes it's good to just reach out to somebody else who has an objective perspective, because when we're so close to it, sometimes you cannot see the forest through the trees. So perhaps another one of your business advisors, your accountant or your lawyer or a trusted friend, to say, hey, does this make sense? I'm feeling a little bit stuck in my business. I feel like I can do more, but I'm not really sure what it is, and that may give you the confidence to ask for help. But by partnering with other businesses, it's sort of a way to almost trick yourself into getting help, because you don't perceive it as, oh boy, I'm doing something because there's something wrong. It's an opportunity to grow and to get to the next level. So I think sometimes that psychology plays into it as well.
All right. So there are a lot of good reasons to partner up with somebody. What are some tips for making something work? Because not all partnerships end up being successful. So how do we increase our chances of making it so?
Yeah, so I think the first thing you want to do, Shabani, is you want to make sure to start small, because when we get excited about a new business venture, it's kind of like dating. You want to jump right into it. But you always date before you get married. You never go straight to marriage unless you're in Las Vegas and there's a lot of alcohol involved. So I do not advise doing that in a professional relationship either. And so find a way to start in a low-risk manner. Perhaps it's a smaller venture that can be expanded, or another great way to test somebody out on a small scale is to actually hire them first, because if they treat you a certain way when you're paying for their services, that's about the best that they're going to behave. So when you're in a partnership, you can really assess, hey, if I'm paying them and they weren't so great, maybe they're not going to be so great when we're partners together. And I've actually personally done this. I've actually hired some people that I said, ultimately, I never want to partner with that person, and some other businesses where I've hired where really great partnerships have blossomed. So I think it really is key first to start small and really test it out before you jump into that marriage.
It's good.
So that's the first thing.
It is good advice in the dating world. Don't make rash decisions.